Aviation data shows 30 close calls at Reagan National Airport since 1987. Now, President Donald Trump is blaming the air traffic controller, the helicopter pilot, as well as DEI efforts. Atlanta News First reporter Abby Casores joins us live at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Abby, this crash has put a spotlight on the role that air traffic controllers play.
That's right, Carly. Digging through the data today, I found that one of the most highly concentrated areas for air traffic controllers is right around the metro Atlanta area, but there are still a lot of openings. Take the Atlanta Tower here at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Right now, the FAA says that there are 37 fully trained and certified controllers, but they would need another 17 to be at ideal staffing levels. Air traffic controllers work in control towers like this one. It's a careful dance to manage traffic in the skies, requiring maximum concentration, working nights, weekends, and sometimes rotating shifts. A 2023 report from the Office of the Inspector General concluded that while the U.S. has one of the safest air traffic systems in the world, the lack of certified controllers poses a potential risk to air traffic operations.
So right now, we have a controller shortage in this nation. 10,800 certified controllers are out there doing this job day in, day out, where there should be 14,335. Now, the specifics to this situation itself, since it's under investigation, I can't speak directly to that, but it is not uncommon for us to routinely combine positions, decombine positions.
This FAA report from 2023 shows the ideal number of certified controllers. Atlanta TRACON, or Terminal Radar Approach Control, in Peachtree City with 71 certified controllers. The ideal number is 113. The Atlanta Air Route Traffic Control Center in Hampton with 283, ideally 314. The Atlanta Tower, 37, ideal 54. Savannah Tower, 21, 29 is ideal. Augusta Tower, 12, 18 is ideal. Albany, fully staffed. Same with Columbus. DeKalb Peachtree with more than enough certified controllers. On Friday, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president maintains it is safe to fly commercially.
That said, two things can be true at the same time, and we certainly have seen the deterioration of federal hiring standards at the Federal Aviation Administration, and the president wants to increase those standards.
In a statement, the National Air Traffic Controllers Association say, along with all Americans, they grieve for the lives lost and they will continue to work with federal agencies. Live at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, Abby Casores, Atlanta News First.